Democrats are finally, maybe, using some of the leverage that they have remaining in Congress, and House Speaker Mike Johnson ran to Fox News to complain about it. Take a look.
Democrats currently are playing games with this government funding idea. They're trying to bring in extraneous issues. We've been working towards getting the government funding appropriations bills done in the House. Our appropriations committee's worked, by the way, in bipartisan fashion to get all 12 appropriations bills through the committee. We've got 3 of them passed off the House floor, and now we voted just last week to go into a conference committee with the Senate to begin grinding this out. That's how the process is supposed to work. So if there's any Democrats who are trying to suggest that they want to shut the government down, we're going to do everything possible to prevent that from happening. It does not behoove the country. And we may need a short gap funding measure, a CR, for a short period of time to allow the negotiation to continue. But it will be clean in its scope, and I surely hope the Democrats will not try to make this a big partisan fight.
You know, I don't often on this show agree with Mike Johnson, but he's right. The Democrats are playing games, and they should learn lessons from when the Republicans were in the minority in the House and under Joe Biden. When Mike Johnson, the Republicans never played any games with funding the government, and they would never make it a big partisan thing. They never tried to get anything for their vote. They just bowed down and said, "Here's your money, sir. Can I give you any more?" Was that enough sarcasm? I think it reads, even in text form, I think you'd get the sarcasm. But at least, look, hypocrisy is prematurely aging me and it's driving me mad. But at least in this case, we've always had this hypocrisy, at least for the past couple decades. Whether it's the Democrats or the Republicans, they always imply that you should just play ball and they obviously want to get something. So at least this is sort of like normal hypocrisy. And in this case, the Democrats are saying they want a lot for their votes. And bear in mind, there's 2 fewer Democrats than there are Republicans in the House, or 3. It's super close. So they damn sure should use their leverage. So here's what they want. They call themselves the majority Democrats, this group. They say they want to reverse the cuts to Medicaid in the one big beautiful bill. They want to replace the law's tax cuts with a tax cut for the bottom 99%. They want to eliminate the Trump administration's tariffs. They want the restoration of cops grants. They want the release of the Jeffrey Epstein files and a ban on members of Congress trading stock as part of an effort to root out corruption in the government. And that is admittedly a lengthy list of demands. So much so that even I'm like, that seems like a lot, man. I don't think you're gonna get that. I don't think they're gonna get any of that, but I like that they're asking for it. Luke, what do you make of this?
Well, okay, 2 points. First, great, we have to, as meaningless as it feels to call it out, we have to still call out the hypocrisy. I love how he goes, it's so weird. They're bringing in other unrelated issues as a part of a demands list. But then you think back to the Biden administration when they're like, yeah, we'll help you fund the government if you'll give us the border bill that we want, if you'll get rid of all of the green energy initiatives, if you'll defund the IRS, if you'll get rid of the Inflation Reduction Act altogether, and if you'll ban non-binary people from the world. And then for them to now go, it's just strange. It's just kind of strange they would ask for things in return for their support is obviously hypocritical, but I do think both parties do the performative shock that the other side has demands. The point too is I'm so relieved that Democrats are finally doing something with the little power that they do have. And I do credit them with that, because if we think back to the last time the funding extension was a debate, and Chuck Schumer got a lot of flack because he helped to get it across the finish line. And my big criticism was not that I didn't sympathize with why Schumer didn't want the government to shut down, but that Democrats waited to push themselves into the conversation until 3 days before the deadline. And my argument was, before the deadline, lay out what is needed for your support. And then even if you don't get a single one of the things on that checklist, with all the news right now, I don't think this is going to be a huge story, but it at least provides an opportunity for the national discourse to be about how Democrats want to get the Medicaid cuts out, Medicaid cuts, Epstein, Medicaid, Epstein, Medicaid, Epstein. And that's a much more effective fight, even if it's just a messaging for important things. And then obviously if they can get some concession, that would be beneficial as well. But the fact that we're just now getting what is the most obvious, coherent political strategy from a minority party is strange, but hey, good job.
I agree. And it's like you're saying, it's gonna be like a great reminder when they're focusing on it. It's even a great reminder to me. Like I follow the news all the time, and I've been so in the thick of this last week that I was reading that list and I was like, oh yeah, they cut like $1 trillion from Medicaid. And oh yeah, they gave like $5 trillion to Mark Zuckerberg and Jeff Bezos. And oh yeah, they are covering up for like the biggest sex predator in American history. And Trump is definitely implicated in that. All of this, and they are corrupt. They are using insider information to personally enrich themselves. So thank you to the majority Democrats for focusing on that. I don't know what they end up getting in the end, with like Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer being the leaders and all of that. But if they can get even one thing from that list, I think that's a win.